Hello guys, my name is Andres Sava and today we're going to discuss the experiment of kinetic sand. The materials that we will be using today, it's cornstarch, dish soap, and some sand in different colors. What is the objective of this experiment? Kinetic sand stays together, allowing you to easily mold and create shapes. Kinetic means togetherness due to the movement and energy. It is used to describe kinetic sand because, unlike the sand at the beach, kinetic sand sticks together when force is applied to it. When a liquid is added, cornstarch starts to become thicker, similar to how sand becomes heavier with water at the beach. In this recipe, adding your wet ingredients, water and dish soap, to your dry ingredients, sand and cornstarch, make the sand heavier and thicker. Adding just the right amount of wet ingredients allows the sand and cornstarch mixture to stay dry enough to not stick to your hands, but wet enough to stick together. Isaac Newton is famous for figuring out certain rules that apply to things on Earth. One of these rules is that matter can take three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. Liquids flow and take the shape of the container they are in. When you can see that happen when you pour a glass of water. Usually, matter turns into liquid when it is heated. When liquid is heated, it gets runnier. How easily a liquid flows is called viscosity. Water has a low viscosity and flows fast. Honey has high viscosity and flows slowly. If you heat honey or lava, it flows faster. That is one of Newton's rules too, that the viscosity of liquids goes up as the liquid is heated. Mix up this cornstarch, goo, and see how it behaves. Is it a liquid or is it a solid? Polymers. What are polymers? A polymer is any of a class of natural or synthetic substances composed of very large molecules called macromolecules, which are multiples of simpler chemical units called monomers. Polymers make up many of the materials in living organisms and are the basis of many minerals and man-made materials. Cornstarch is an example of a polymer. That means its molecules are arranged in a long chain. When the chain of molecules stretches, like the goo in this experiment, the goo behaves like a liquid and flows. As soon as the goo has pressure applied to it, like when you squeeze it in your fist or when you rest your hand on it in the tray, it behaves like a solid and feels stiff and strong. Viscosity, as we said earlier, which is one of the Newton's rules. Viscosity is measure of a fluid's resistance to flow. A fluid with large viscosity resists motion because its molecular makeup gives it a lot of internal friction. A fluid with low viscosity flows easily because its molecular makeup results in very little friction when it is in motion. Non-Newtonian fluids. A non-Newtonian fluid is a fluid that does not follow Newton's laws of viscosity. For example, constant viscosity independent of stress. In non-Newtonian fluids, viscosity can change when under force to either more liquid or more solid. Ketchup, for example, becomes runny when shaken and is thus a non-Newtonian fluid. All right. So in this experiment, I started by adding the sand in a mixing bowl. I added a different colors of sand just to make it a little more fun and a little more colorful. Even though at the end it was only one color, dark black. Right next to my mixing bowl, I have a mixing glass, which I have water, just regular water, and which I'm gonna add in a little bit the dish soap and dissolve it into the water. So right now, I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, which I'm gonna mix really well with the sun. Make sure that this cornstarch dissolves completely. There is no lumps or anything. So I have a consistent mixture. So I thought my sun mixture was a little not too much, so I decided to add a little more sun inside it. Now I'm adding the dish soap into the water, which I'm gonna mix. Then I'm gonna add the water inside the mixture. I'm gonna do it slowly and add a little bit in the beginning. I don't want to add too much. And then I start mixing the mixture and making sure the water gets everywhere. The sun is mixing up. And you can start noticing that the sun is also starts turning into a kinetic sand, to be honest. It does this thing in your hands, and you can see earlier that I didn't need more water than that. See right here, how it's solid and also liquid. So the experiment was successful. Next time I will make sure that I add maybe a little less water because I think I added a little too much water. I will make sure that my sand is one color, not different colors, because it turns like brown at the end. So for this experiment, cornstarch and water mixed acts both like a solid and a liquid. Cornstarch and water is a suspension mixture with a solid dispersed into a liquid. When you press the mixture quickly, the starch molecules close together. This causes the water to get trapped between the starch chains and create a semi-rigid structure. When you press slowly, this starch chain block doesn't happen and the mixture flows like a liquid. Because the viscosity of the mixture changes with force rather than heat, the cornstarch mixture is known as a non-Newtonian fluid. So this experiment was created to examine non-Newtonian fluid science and viscosity science. Pressure causes the molecules in the starch to cling together, seizing up the mixture. But when you relax, the molecules relax and flow around your hand or food or whatever they are on.